Okay, so I'm gonna try. This is like the millionth time that I try to do this, and I'm gonna try to do it as best as I can. So, right here, he retreated. Let's go back a little bit. Right there. So he's retreated, and you basically do nothing about it. And so, wait, what? Yeah, there we go. So he was over here. He was in the corner, right? There's no more stage on this end. And he knows that. He knows that that's really important. And he notices that you just stayed over here kind of dash dancing, right? When what you could have done is something called pushing advantage. And specifically, this advantage is called stage control. So note right here, you were directly in center stage before you dashed over here. And so he gave up all of this space, and you gave him even more, right? And that's basically you saying, yeah, I'm okay with you just getting stage control back for free. Like, you didn't invest in something that was potentially very advantageous for you. And stage control, if someone hasn't talked to you about it yet, or you don't know anything about it, stage control is a type of how do I put it? It's best if you think of it as like the relationship you and your opponent have with your positions on the stage. And it's best explained if you talk about basically the two fundamental points that stage control focuses on, which is center stage, and then you have the other 2 points, which are basically the edge of the stage, right, or the ledge. Some people call it being in the corner, etc., etc. And something that's the basic difference between being here and being over there is you have less disadvantage here, simply because you have more open space to move in, not including all of your opponent's options, right? I don't want to get like way too technical, but basically you have more space to move when you're in the center stage than you do in the corner. Because if you're in the corner, you only have as much space as you have in front of you, and right now you gave him almost the whole stage. Now, if you had stayed here, he'd only have half the stage, and if you had pushed forward, he'd have a third of the stage. And then if you actually get a punish, he has whatever stage you leave available for him to get back on, and then he's in disadvantage over here off stage. So he has no stage control here, and that's a really good position for you to put your opponents in, because it doesn't matter what percentage they're at, right? You can take a stock if you know how to edge guard well. So something to keep in mind, stage control, all the time. So right there, let me back up a little bit. So you try to approach him on the ground. So you come in, he jumps, and what he's going to do is he's going to wait for you to do something. Now either you can catch his jump and try to, be aggressive. You can stay in place, you can move past him, or you can retreat, right? He waits to see what you do, because at this point he knows that you don't take advantage of stage control, and you haven't made very good decisions as far as approach goes. Assuming this guy is like picking up on everything. We don't actually know how good he is. I don't know him. I don't know anything about him. So let's just assume that this guy's on his P's and Q's, right? So these are the things he could have possibly picked up on. And he lands with an aerial. Now, remember how we talked about center stage versus edge of the stage and stage control? He just got stage controlled, just doing that one thing, waiting and then punishing. Mind you, you still have more than 1/3 of the stage, but you don't have center stage. And that's just enough of a difference to matter. So let's move forward. See what else happens. He's stuffing your approaches aerially. He knows that's safe. Now he's just throwing that out right there. I see you're trying to put in some roars. Okay, right here. You had two options. I know you're playing on Wi-Fi, but you went into autopilot. You land right here, and you throw that out. You probably had, you had enough time to jump or something. And of course, like, you could have buffered a jump, you could have buffered shield, you could have rolled back into the stage, and he actually gets you off stage. Now right here is really dangerous against Wario. He knows you've got to jump, so he can punish your jump, or he can punish your jump or stuff an aggressive approach, right? And that's actually what he tried to do. He tried to hit you with an aerial right here, and he just barely missed. And he's gonna land on top of you, and you don't do anything. Oh well, no, I lied. You do something about it. Awesome, good job. I'm recording right now. I can't pause. Right. And so right here, because he couldn't get a conversion on the other side of the stage, he does manage to slap you back to the edge, on this edge, opposite edge right here. And note how he pushes advantage in this direction, at least he's going to try. Let me get my pointer back. Okay. So he tries to push advantage, and that was really good on your part right here. You actually managed to get back to center stage. And so potentially, if you take advantage of the situation, he has about 1/4 of the stage to work with based on your positioning. So just focusing on stage control. Stage control is a very fundamental thing. You don't have to worry about spacing. It's more about like keeping track of what your opponent is doing, because you already know what you're doing. You don't need to look at you as much as you need to look at your opponent. And once you get into this habit, other stuff like spacing and technical stuff like that, that's going to come with time. I'm not talking about tech. I'm just talking about like actually playing well, and not making bad decisions, right? So right there, you're autopiloting, but you do actually get something. But watch what he does now. Okay, so right there, you don't need to worry about the bike. You don't need to hit the bike, especially if it's not that close to him. What I would do is, like, if you're going to stand there, just do nothing. You could have thrown a grenade, which would have been a lot better, because what Wario can do with this bike is he can either get back on it, or he can eat it and, bring his percentage back down. You're not actually doing anybody favors by just beating the shit out of the bike. You're just kind of wasting your time. Now, you did get a hit on him. He just kind of walked into that forward smash. That's really good. That's really good. You're pushing advantage. You need to work on your vertical advantage. I feel like if you had DI'd that correctly, you would have gotten that up air. Because he was, he wasn't like vertically far from you. He was just at a different horizontal position. So definitely would have landed that up air if you had just maneuvered better. And your roller, you've got to learn to cancel your roller. I know that it's hard, but something you should have done by tomorrow, or let's say you'll have it done by the end of the week, right? Something you should be able to do by the end of the week is cancel your roller instantly. And he punishes you for staying in roller. And I think I've watched this video a few times. He's going to try and like wait and see what you do and then punish it. So right now you're just hitting him with dash attack, which is good. But watch, he tries to see what you're going to do. Boom. He's going to do it again. See, there. He got it one more time and another time. Like this guy's just playing with you. I wouldn't say he's very good. There's a lot of things he's not pushing as well. He doesn't really know how to push advantage very well, but he does do it more than you do. See, he just gave the stage away. He was trying to just cheese you with the motorcycle. He wanted to do something safe. Stayed up there for no reason. He shouldn't be up there. That was a tech situation, and you could have more than easily gotten, like right here. You're over here, and this man's on this platform. So he's either going to tech in place, do a regular get up in place, or he's going to tech this way, right? Or he's going to do an attack get up. Attack get up doesn't really matter. So what's really cool about tech situations on platforms is that they only have this much to work with. So normally they can tech about, I'd say maybe this far in either direction, depending on how much stage they have. But when they're on the platform, they only have as much room as the platform gives them, right? And this is a reaction-based punish. You're not reading anything. Even on Wi-Fi, you can just read a tech. You can just react to a tech, and you will get the punish if you're comfortable enough with your character. And I feel that even as early as only playing for a month or 2 months, you have more than enough time to be comfortable with your character to at least start punishing tech rolls on platforms, tech situations. Start doing that. Oh fuck! Let me get rid of that. Might be. Okay, so you have him off stage, and notice how he's up there, right? Let's go back. You saw the trajectory that you threw him in. He's up here, and you run right here, and you throw a grenade here, and he's gonna fall this way. Doesn't even have to worry about your grenade, and you can only kind of like throw it up here or out here, right? So he can literally just jump over that and not worry about it. So I wouldn't say that was the best. Maybe if you had managed to get the grenade up here, that would have been good, because now he has to actually either recover under the platform or over the platform, and you can punish either one of those. Arguably, this is the easier one to punish because you have that ridiculous up air, and he's at 140%, which is a perfect time to start throwing back air and up air at him to see if he dies. But unfortunately, you didn't understand the gravity of the situation, so you just kind of let him get back for free. Even if he's on his bike, you can still hit him. That was good. That was a good hard punish. Mind you, he did totally just fall right into it, which was dumb. He gets you off that platform. Yeah, he doesn't know. He doesn't know how to edge guard at all. He hasn't really tried. That right there is really dangerous. He could have gone for a grab. When they have the bike, they can it goes up, right? It doesn't really go out. So you can actually run up in front of him and then roll behind him, and he'll be stuck in that animation for a minute. I know you probably didn't know, but there's a Wario that plays at SFS. His name's Clint. I think right now his tag's Worthless Gamer. I've actually thrown the bike myself. He's thrown the bike at me a few times. So you don't have to, if you're not already in a commitment option, if you're not already in the middle of throwing a move out, you don't actually have to worry about the bike at all. And he got that stock. All right, so you're trying to pitch advantage. That was really good that you're trying. We do need to work on your options. So let me rewind back to when you were actually doing good and when you actually lost it. So right here, you stuff that aerial approach. Fucking awesome job. And then you hit him when he lands, which is also really good. And this is it. That's all you get. He jumps over you because you didn't wait. You assumed he was going to stay over here, and he was like, oh, I'm just going to try and get back on the stage. This is something that if you had just waited right here, if you wait right here, you can see if he's going to come back to the ledge, or if he's going to come over here, or if he's going to try and jump over you. Or sorry, he's going to try and jump over you. And if he tries to jump over you, you can clearly get him with an aerial. If he tries to actually land on the stage, you can just dash attack him or down tilt him, and then he goes up here, and you can combo him from there because he's at 29%. Now, if he's trying to do this, if you see that he doesn't immediately try to get on here, that's when you don't even have to dash to throw the grenade. You could have thrown the grenade from where you were, and that would have been much better positioning for your advantage state. Not just, going in and running up and throwing a grenade. That was bad. That was really bad. And so he actually tries to get you off stage. He wasn't paying attention to your percent, or he thought that maybe you would jump off stage for some stupid reason. But yeah, now he's on here. You have advantage again. You don't throw a grenade, you run back, and then throw a grenade. You do nothing about him landing on top of you. And he's trying to stuff your approach again. You don't let him. That's good. That's good. You're like, no, I can throw hitboxes out too. That's nice. And then he gets this on you. That hurts to see every time. I've seen it like 15 times now. You got that up air. That's fucking awesome. He wastes his waft. That's weird. You guys are just like missing each other really hard. Yeah, this Wario isn't good by any means. So he's got you off stage, and then he gets you back on stage. That was a very, very bad move for him. That was not a good option off stage. You're just playing. You're trying to play like safely. I get that, but like the two things I've already told you about, or I've told you about stage control, right? And then I've told you about pushing your advantage. If you can recognize when you suddenly have advantage, which is different from getting advantage. You know when you get advantage because you go in and you go get it yourself. When you suddenly are given advantage is much harder to pick up because it's not something that you're actively engaged in seeking. It's something that just kind of falls in your lap. Later on, once you get used to recognizing when someone gives you advantage or when you are given advantage or when suddenly you're in advantage, whatever the situation is, it becomes more of a habit of you're actually looking to see when you are or aren't in advantage or when you are or aren't in disadvantage, blah, blah, blah. And then you can actually start to optimize your options. I'm not saying you would become godlike, but you wouldn't be wondering why you get 3-stocked. You'd be knowing why you get 3-stocked and then at least almost 3-stocking other people. So yeah, the match just kind of goes the same way from what I've covered. Right now he's got 1 stock lead, but if you can actually close his stock out and then gain some conversion, which, I mean, you've pushed advantage just a little better than he has at certain times. But the main difference is that he doesn't have to know how to push advantage if he knows to just wait and punish an option that you do. And that's something that, like, I feel like just doing that, just waiting and then punishing an option, that's like what murders noobs, even on Wi-Fi. Like, you don't even have to be good. You can just punish noob options. So right there, you could have grabbed him when he landed on you, and you didn't. You were even facing him. It would have been really easy. Yeah, you could have grabbed him again. And you just keep on using the same option. Like, you could... I'm bad about this too. So when you're on the ledge, you don't have to keep on using the same option. Like, if anything, mix them up. Like, if you keep on getting hit, fine, whatever. But go ahead and just, like, buffer your option. They're like, oh, I did regular get up. Okay, I'll do a get up roll. Oh, I did get up roll and regular get up. I guess I'll do a get up jump. I wouldn't say just mindlessly do it. Try and, like, develop a skill for picking the right one. But that's kind of, like, really hard for me to just be like, hey, just pick the right option, because you would have to know how to pay attention to your opponent's habits and stuff like that, which is, I'm not saying it's hard, but you just haven't started doing that yet. But that will come in time. Like, once you start looking at your opponent and seeing what they're doing, you will start to be able to care more about pushing advantage. You'll start to be like, oh, I could have done this. Oh, I could have done that. Instead of going like, what the fuck happened, right? And you wouldn't be asking, should I be doing this or should I be doing that? You would actually be like, wow, I could have done this for free. I could have done this for free. I could have done that for free, etc., etc. Like, you'll stop asking specific questions and start answering general questions, like your own general questions that you had before, or maybe not even questions that you had before. You will just suddenly realize, like, oh, this is the thing that I could have been doing. So look at your opponent and what was the thing by Friday, you should be able to cancel your roll. Cancel out a roller. And then I guess like in a month or 2 months, see how like we can talk about how well I feel, or we can even like get Professor Menos and Kasai looking at some of your matches and be like, how well are you actually paying attention to your opponent? Which is, I feel like that should be your main goal right now. Not taking stocks, paying attention to your opponent, because everything else comes after that. If you can pay attention to your opponent instead of just like autopiloting or just trying to throw a move out, look at what your opponent is doing and work with what they're giving you. That's the most important thing you can do. That's all I got for you, man. If you have any questions, or you want to talk to me about another thing, if you like me making these videos for you in this format, just let me know. I can probably do it again.